everybody. Today I am going to make pizza rolls. They're going to be pepperoni or sausage depending on what you prefer. But we're going to start off with a bag of mozzarella, whatever kind you choose. This is what kind I chose, which was about an 8-ounce bag of mozzarella. Into a bowl. Okay. Then you put in whatever season you like. I'm going to do garlic parmesan because that probably will taste the best inside. And just enough. Just enough to kind of coat it a little bit, not too much. Then I have pepperoni. I'm going to make some with pepperoni for today, but also we'll make probably some with some of these other options, which is capicola, salami. Those types also can taste really good. The pepperoni. I have regular pepperoni. Some people like turkey pepperoni. You can use whatever you want. But I'm going to have it where I'm going to chop up the pepperoni into quarters so that it's small inside the pepperoni. So it's inside the pepperoni rolls where it's edible but not too big. Again, I'll chop in quarters. Okay, chopping these as well. Now I'm going to make these for my daughter, as I'm sure lots of people like to make food for their family, but this is something that anyone can have. Just wanted to let you guys know this is my first ever YouTube video trying something out new, of course, and I'm making a few different types of things. I'll show some a little later that I've made in the past, but for today we're just going to start with these. And once they're all cut up, they're going to go into where our cheese mixture is. Make sure it's broken up as much as it can be. Smaller the better. Just add it into our bowl that had the cheese. Right. Okay. So now we have everything inside the bowl. Not everything, but at least our first 3 ingredients. Then we have to add in some spaghetti sauce. Now, some people want to use regular marinara. I use my homemade spaghetti. So in this case, I use my homemade spaghetti sauce to put in my mix. So I'm going to grab a spoon, get a good amount of it in there because you want the flavor to be good. I use a nice, maybe, I would say probably 2 big spoonfuls of the marinara sauce to mix it up. And then when you're mixing it up, you want to make sure you don't miss anything. Get everything in there. All your ingredients. You might need more marinara, which I'll put more in so that it'll mix good. And it looks like I might need more, like 3 spoonfuls to go along with mine. Adding that 3rd spoonful so that the flavor is really yummy and tasty. Now the other thing I'm going to do in this mixture, okay, is I'm going to add some regular Parmesan cheese as well. Some of the grated Parmesan. Just like a coating to go along with my seasonings that I had put in there. But remember the garlic Parmesan, which I prefer. Put a little bit more in. Now once this is all mixed up, okay, once it's good and mixed up, then what we're going to end up doing is put this into our rolls, and we're going to bake our rolls. Okay. Okay, So my mix is pretty good together, but what we're gonna do is you know, you could use chilies, whatever you want to use, but it says that if you put it in the microwave for about 20 seconds, I could put, I think I'm gonna do about maybe 5 or 6 tortillas, I think will be how many I might end up needing. So I'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to put these in the microwave on a plate with a wet paper towel, just so they can loosen up a little bit with a wet paper towel. I say that's the best way. Okay. So wet paper towel, put it over top, put in the microwave for 20 seconds. And then when they come out, we'll be ready to actually put the rolls down. And I have parchment paper over here. Parchment paper on a tray, right? So when it's done in the microwave in 20 seconds, then I'll start laying out my tortillas, rolling them up, and then setting them up with the rest of the seafood. Okay. It's almost done. Like 15 seconds left. And just while I'm in here, just make sure everything's mixed up, because that's going to go in our little mix. And what I think is probably a good idea, because we don't want it to stick the parchment paper, is I'm going to use a little bit of olive oil on there. Use like the olive oil spray. Just a little, you know, I like the extra virgin. Okay. Alright, and that is on for as far as that goes. So now we have our tortillas. Alright, so the first one, we're going to put just a little, like maybe that much, like a little line in here. Just enough to make it interesting. So you guys can see what I'm doing. I have just a little line here. And I'm going to roll it up. Alright, roll it up best you can. I'm going to try to make sure that it stays in there. You know, kind of wrap it up like you're making a burrito. And then you just roll, roll, roll. And then when it's rolled up, you leave it on the paper and move it down the row. And I'm going to repeat that until I get all of them rolled up. This is our next one. Same thing, about a line of this mixture. Just roll it so it doesn't fall out. And then just roll, roll, roll. Okay, and then that's 2 done. By the time we're done, we should have about 6, if that's how many actually came out. So again, if we end up having more, I'll just put the rest in another container. Alright, here's that one. Rolling up again. Probably saves us some time to make the oven ready for us, but in this case, I will get that started shortly. Get this next one rolled. Okay. Now we have that. And we have all of this just about done being rolled. Just have 2 more to go, looks like. And you'll see as they're laid out on the tray here, you can see how they're laid out. I just find it's easier to just place them on the actual tray to do the rolling out and rolling up. So yes, I did actually get the right amount. Okay. So here's another little line. reason for softening it is just so it doesn't break or crack when you're rolling it. I want it smooth, it goes better that way. Okay, that's these ones. When we're done with this, you're going to see what I'm going to do before I put it in the oven. This is, I think, going to be probably the last one. I probably could put one more in. If we wanted to try this recipe, I didn't want to miss out on as many as I can get in, because then it can be made, you know, eaten at a different time, of course. But you make it now, and you can actually freeze it for later, because once it's made, it's made. Okay. So it looks like I'm going to be able to do probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 6, right here. So I'm probably going to just get one more, just loosen it up, and I'll have enough for the last of this to be used. I'll probably just do 2 more. All right, put them in there with that. Here we go. We're going to get the oven set for, I would say, baking for we'll say 350. That works. All right, so it's going to warm up, and we're going to do this real quick. Now, I'm sure some of you guys have probably done this, a million shows like this, a million YouTubes. This will be my first. Hopefully it will not. I don't want it to be my last, because I plan to do other types of recipes that I have, and also other topics too, not just the same thing, not just recipes. Alright, so the baking is getting ready. One of the things I wanted to show you that I am going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of melted butter, in a little container. Like this. Put maybe half a butter, half a stick of butter, with that same seasoning, or you can use a different one. I'll use a little bit of that one. This was the garlic jalapeno. They all taste the same in the long run, but this is going to go in when my rolls are coming out to get the last done, because then we're going to be putting a little butter on top before we bake. Alright, so I put that in there. That's half a stick of butter plus the half a stick of butter plus the garlic, jalapeno, and it looks like I will have enough for 2 more. Again, we're just going to do the line with this one as well. Maybe not. Maybe it is going to have to go a month though. We'll see. Yeah, no, you can only get about 7. So we're just going to put this all in one. That last one's going to be a little extra, which is fine. We can always make more. Alright, so rolling up this last one as best as I can. Get that one rolled up. When that one's all rolled up, then everything's going to be ready. Just spread them out. Get them all situated and ready to be buttered and seasoned. Okay, so with that seasoning, we're going to, if you have a brush, that would be highly recommended to use a brush. But if you don't have a brush, you can just use whatever you have that will work, which in my case is going to be a spoon. A little spoon. Just mix it up a little bit and then just kind of do like a glaze. Little glaze over each one. And it's just on the top part. You don't really put it on the bottom part. One thing I had to make sure of is when I do the glaze, that I grab some of that stuff that doesn't really melt in the microwave. So that's that. And then one last one. Again, like I said, some of them didn't get some of the actual season, so we'll just add a little bit extra to that. Once that's on there, then we're pretty much ready to put it in the microwave, in the oven, sorry, because you don't want it in the microwave, it won't taste as good. It's in the oven. And one little last dash, just because we're trying to make it very Italian in nature, one little last dash of Parmesan on top, and then it's going to be ready to go in the oven. So remember, this is on parchment paper. Put it in the oven, and when it's done, this is what it looked like before it's done. When it's done, I'll bring it back out and show you guys what it looks like. But while we're waiting for that to cook, I was saying there's another thing that could be just as good to use. You don't have to use pepperoni. You could use turkey pepperoni. You could use the capicola, salami, caprese. If you want to use ham, whatever you want to put in your own pizza rolls. But in mine, my daughter loves pepperoni, so I use pepperoni. But you can use anything you want. You can even put some prosciutto. It looks like there's some prosciutto in there. You could put in whatever you want. And as far as the sauce, the same thing with the marinara sauce. The marinara sauce is really about to your taste. I like a bold flavored, a little bit of spice, a little extra, not hot, but a little spicier than just the regular average marinara sauce. Now there are going to be more different ones coming, more different videos coming on different foods and different things that could be pretty tasty. I have done a few other ones recently. One was it was a cabbage soup. It was supposed to be a weight loss cabbage soup, but I made it my own by adding in and taking out different things that made it better tasting to me. So for me, instead of putting onions in this particular cabbage recipe that I had, I actually ended up putting in chopped red, orange, and yellow peppers, and just a little extra garlic since I don't do onions. But you can make it to your own taste and what you like. But this is one that I might show again soon, but I literally just finished um, the bowl or the crock pot full that we had made of this particular soup. And by we, I mean I made for my family. And then I also have made homemade meatballs and sauce recently, and I was on Instagram. That's where I had put those recipes for those two particular meals that I had made. And I also make it was a 9-layer taco dip. So those are ones I'll show again at some point, but this is my first time doing a YouTube video. So I'm hoping that when this comes out, it looks just as delicious as I assume it should, and hopefully it tastes just as good too. Um, but typically when it's done, it does look very good from what I've seen in the past. I've just never actually tried to make it myself. So I wanted to do my own thing to make it fancy, and hopefully it tastes really good. And hopefully you guys stay tuned because I have some other recipes coming up in the future that I'm going to be doing, and also other types of YouTube videos. I have cats, so I might have some cat videos. I'm going to be doing some singing because I love to sing. Hopefully, we'll start with the recipes and go from there. All right, let's see if it's baking pretty good or not. Let me see. Still baking. It's going to be a little while, but when it's done, it should be crispy. You want to bake it until it's crispy so that it's a little lightly brown, not burned, but lightly brown on top. And then when you open it up, it'll be cheesy. It's got all that mozzarella. Plus, I had that little bit of Parmesan I put in there as well, and it smells and tastes so good. So hopefully, when it comes out, I'll be able to show you guys, and you'll tell me what you think. Okay, thanks so much, guys. It's going to take a little while for it to finish, so I'm going to pause.